Brian, no going back now.
Okay.
We've left the station. This train continues on to Yuma at 3:10.
Happy birthday to you. Is my Mayor Watts says my audio is a bit blown out? Am I blip blown out?
You're not blown out at all. You're a little not even low. I think you're just normal.
Just normal? All right, well,
Blown out. What's he mean? All of us, you mean?
No, he just says, is it me or is Brian's audio a bit blown out? Well, it's clearly you, Mayor Watt.
Yeah, you sound. In fact, you sound. I can't ask for more. You sound as good as you've ever sounded. So.
Yeah, I know. I think doing this whole thing with the routers has putting the switches before. Well, no, it hasn't affected this. Wouldn't affect this computer.
Maybe it's because you're bassy, and so he's not used to so much bass from the male voice, and it's.
I am Count Basie.
That's right. 1, 2, 3 trumpets. All right.
I like that's Count Basie.
Yeah, get it? Because he's the count.
Check. I'm gonna throw a little more. I'm throwing a little tiny more treble in there for you.
All right, a little bit of treble.
Little more treble.
Yeah, big treble in Little China. Let's do it.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah, you sound good to me. All right, here we go.
Cool.
Oh, we got a level 2 hype train. Let me hit share. I don't actually know how that works yet. But choo-choo. There you go. All right. Okay. Here goes. It's time. It begins. 3, 2, 1.
Hello, I'm Bill Gates, chairman of Microsoft. In this video, you're going to see the future. We predicted this a long time ago, and now it's the future. Let's take a look.
You're in control again.
The morning stream, the morning stream, the morning stream, the morning stream, the morning stream,
The morning stream. It's called pain. Get used to it.
the morning stream, the morning stream, the morning stream, the morning stream.
Welcome to the Moan and Scream. It's the morning stream, TMS, for December 8th, 2020. I'm Scott Johnson, and I'm here with Brian Ibbett. Hi, Brian.
All of these things are true.
Verification. Once again,
these are
we
false,
have
yes.
done exactly what we came here to
Two-factor verification. 1, 2, verified.
do. Yep. And if it still doesn't work, you can get a code sent to your phone. If that doesn't work,
Exactly.
you do an email again. And if that doesn't work, well, then maybe reset your password, but never, never give your password to anyone you don't trust.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us. All right.
PSA complete.
Yeah, we've done it. All right, I'm happy to be here, by the way. We got a Tuesday, so, all the stuff that brings, and we'll get to it all here in a minute. I would like to welcome a whole bunch of people to the chat room today. In particular, a couple of people are having birthdays, so I thought in our graciousness, here at the show, we should probably do a new tradition, which is, whenever we know about a birthday, even if it's just generally know about it, we play a little bit of a song for them. And now I just got to find it. Did I lose it already? I got to pull it out and use it. Hold on. Here it comes. Hold on. Nope. Okay. I can't find it. Okay. Well, on that note, Scott blew it. Oh, here we go.
Okay.
I found it. Here it is. Found it.
Happy birthday to you.
There you go. Happy birthday, you guys.
Oh, thank you for just giving us one verse.
No, he does the whole stanza if you want it. I can play the entire thing.
No need. No
okay.
need.
So you're saying you do want to hear it then? You're saying play
I don't
it?
need to. This guy is discovering notes that have not even been discovered yet.
Yeah.
Like this guy is finding notes that Mariah Carey hasn't even found.
He's cashing notes your car can't cash or whatever.
Right.
He's
Your
writing
badge
checks.
and your gun and your TikTok account.
Yeah, he's really something. I do follow him, and every once in a while put up something like, hello from Adele. You don't want to hear it.
Man.
Your dogs will die.
Hello.
Yeah.
From the other side. I guess I did Lionel Richie.
Yeah.
Immediately I go to the Lionel Richie hello.
Well, we grew up in the 80s. What do you expect? All right. Well, now that it's out of the way, a big happy birthday to those in the chat room and at home. If you're having
awesome.
you're a December baby and you got to share your time with Christmas, kind of a bummer, but whatever.
One of those birthday people might have a request coming to them later on in the show. What? Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic.
Yes.
Check this out. I got an eBay story for you. All right. Brian, remember eBay? Remember that?
I totally remember, dude. I've got stuff on eBay right now.
What are you selling? Just curious. You don't have to say if you don't want to, but
So I'm doing doing these laptops, right? Refurbishing these laptops.
yeah.
Got a few of them. They're not going to notice are gone, so I'm just going to put them up on eBay.
No, you're not. You're totally not doing that.
Actually, I am, but they know about it. They asked me
they're
to put
aware.
a few of them on eBay. Yeah,
Gotcha.
they're
Okay.
like the ones that are older than 2 years that won't get redeployed are going onto eBay. So,
Okay.
yeah,
That's their
I'm-
limit. Is a 2-year limit.
that's their limit for redeployment. And basically, I'm looking at these 2018 laptops that are going like in 22 days are going to be out of contention for deployment. I'm like, God, these things are great. I mean, they're MacBook Pros with decent RAM, decent storage. They've got the touch bar, little touch thing at the top, which the more I use, the more I like. And
We'll start in what 2017? Do I have that right?
2017, maybe even end of 2016. No, I think it is 2017.
Something like that. Yeah, they're pretty still.
Yeah,
So still fairly recent. Not too old.
Exactly.
Oh.
So it's like, yeah, I mean, that's good.
That's
Let's,
why I
get this
remember
old.
that because Tom at Nerdtacular 2017 brought his,
Mm-hmm.
and they were brand new that year, and he installed it while
Okay.
on stage. Remember that? He or not? No, what did he do? He did something to it while we were there, like formatted it or did I can't remember. He did some weird tech experiment while we were all doing stage stuff, and he was up there like formatting his drive or something weird.
He was, but was it the touch bar? Mac, did he have the touch bar?
I thought he
Squishy
did.
Twitchy says 2016, and it's funny because I have to enter these things into a database as I'm cleaning them off and marking off the tests and how they passed and scores and all that sort of thing, and I'm constantly typing in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. You'd think I'd know off the top of my head. Oh yeah, no, that's the MacBook Pro late 2017 model that's got 3.1 gigahertz with an i5 processor, and
Well, the problem is it's all bleeding together because you got so many of them. So,
yeah.
it's just MacBook all the time. Well, that's interesting. Well, let me tell you about what happened
Tell me
bad
your
on eBay.
your eBay experience.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I really hope this doesn't happen to you. So here's what happens. This is a dumb little thing too, because I think it was a total transaction of maybe $8 total, which was $4 with shipping, so $3 something for the actual item. I sold a copy of Skate 3, EA Electronic Arts Skate 3 for the Xbox 360. So this game's, I think 09, 08, something like that. I don't remember when it came out. Maybe
Right.
2010. But it's pretty, it's old. And but it's a beloved. People love Skate 3. Skate 3 is a very popular thing. They're finally making a Skate 4. People are jazzed about it. Blah blah blah. So I got all these old games here. Some of which I've been given. Some of which I don't know how long I've had. Some I've never opened because they were gifts or they were
Sure.
prizes, and they just sat there with the shrink wrap on them. Already owned it, whatever. And so I went and did.
Sounds like me. Yeah,
Yeah,
except
you-
I bought them and left.
Yeah,
the shrink
except
wrap
you
on.
bought them and intended to play them, and then never played them.
Exactly.
But
yes.
these are stacking up, and it was getting to be kind of dumb. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna get these on eBay. And I know there's some services you can use that are like specific to media like this, and I probably should have used that, but whatever. I was also selling some other stuff like an ancient Wacom I've had forever that I can't use anymore. Some other stuff, and I was just clearing some things out.
Totally. Yep.
So anyway, I listed like 20 games, and they're all physical. They're all discs, various games and types and stuff. Anyway, one of them was Skate 3. So it sells for $350 plus $4, whatever it was for shipping.
For shipping, yeah.
Super cheap, whatever. I don't care. Just try and move stuff out and give somebody some value for it, and not just throw it away or whatever. So I did that, and when I sent it, I made sure to take really good pictures. So I took a picture of the outside, which is pristine. Inside, disc is 100% scratch free. The case 100% clean. Got the manual in there. Still has like a little coupon code for some EA thing. Like all of it is pristine, as
Wow.
if it was just
That's-
open. All right.
And that's smart of you. So that was like post sale. You took pictures of it as you were packaging it up, kind of thing.
I did both for the listing and for
Yeah.
post sale while I was packaging it up, because
Brilliant.
you never
That
know.
is absolutely brilliant.
But
Yeah.
for only $3, it was like so much work, but I still did it. So I did all this and posted it online. This person bought it, and I'm like, sweet. new home for this game. Maybe some kid's going to get it. This is great. So let's
Yeah,
send it out.
yeah.
I ship it out along with the 20 other games that sold, and they all got to their destinations. I see delivered notices on everything. And then I get this horrendous email from
Oh,
the
God.
Skate 3
Okay.
customer saying, this was listed as new, which it wasn't, by the way. It's listed as like new because it would be dishonest to say it was new because I had opened it and played
Sure.
it, but it was
Sure.
pristine and like new. So I listed it as like new. She read the word new and ignored the like and just said it was new.
Okay.
And she was basically, the email was written as if I was Walmart or something. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Not just dumb guy in his basement, but a full
Right.
like some
Right.
kind of big
Oh,
retail
God.
corporation with many copies of this game in the back to replace the one that was wrong or whatever. Anyway, she leaves this big old nasty review without checking with me first. Hadn't pinged me first, but just this mean feedback, and then a whole bunch of photos, and the photos. Oh no, that came in the message later. So she messaged me right after she left the horrible feedback.
Oh, good. So she left horrible feedback first, then reached out
Then
to you
contacted me. Yeah.
to see if you could make it good. Okay,
The perfect
nice.
order to
Well
do
done.
this in.
Yes.
Some lady in Arizona. She sends this over to me, and in there's 4 or 5 photos, and I don't know what happened, but that disc, the case, one like, okay, so if you're looking at it like a portrait view of the case, if you kind of draw a line from the outer right side and then cut down to the other corner of the left side, that whole end looked
okay.
like it had been stomped on or smashed or something. So the disc is all banged up and won't play and is bent and cracked. The case itself has like shards of plastic from the smashing. And these photos are all these little shards laid out, the disc showing all the damage, everything showing all busted up, showing the disc on both sides. And it was, that was a banged up disc.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like another, some other disc or whatever. But my first thought was like, well, they could just fake this. They smash up the case, take a picture of another CD, and say,
Right.
this
Sure.
is it. And then, but then I'm thinking, why would they do
For
this for
$3
$4?
or $8 or whatever.
Yeah, like why
Right.
would they do that for that little money? Like this
Yeah.
doesn't feel like it should be a scam. I look at their account; they're in good standing and have done stuff forever. And when they bought other things, it's all small, little trinkety, housewarmy stuff. So it's not like it didn't smell like scam because again, it's just too dumb to be a scam.
Right. It's a lot of work to go through to get $8, bilk $8 out of somebody.
Yeah. So I said, that's weird. I heard Bill Gates bucks, but I know that's not what you said. You said bilk $8, and I heard Bill Gates
Milk
bucks.
$8. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because you played Bill Gates. young
I
Bill
did.
Gates at the
It's
beginning of
on
the
the
show. Yes. So he's still in your head.
He was so awkward in the 80s. Anyway, like he isn't now. What am I saying? Anyway, so I replied and I said, oh, man, well, just so you know, because in the email also it was like, this is ridiculous. I can't believe this sort of service. Like she's talking to me as if I'm a clerk at Walmart.
Right. Also, like, what is the most likely scenario that you had this smashed up copy of Skate 3 smashed box that you'd been holding on to just for this purpose? You went and found pictures online of a good-looking Skate 3, posted those on your eBay,
Yeah.
then carefully assembled everything into a shoddy, into a torn bag or torn padded envelope or whatever you sent it in,
Yeah.
and then sent it to her.
Yeah.
Instead of thinking, oh, maybe this was USPS's problem and not something caused by the sender, or the
Right.
seller.
Right. And she
Jeez.
seemed convinced in the email that I was scamming her.
Oh, for Pete's sake.
So I
Good
said,
Lord, yes.
I go, well, first of all, I can't control if USPS fouled this up. They did, and I mean, there's nothing I can do about that. I didn't deliver it to your
Yeah.
door. I mean, I literally said that. I said I didn't deliver this to your door personally. I live in Utah. You live in Arizona, so
Yeah.
that was handled by a third party. You may know them as "quote unquote" the post office. So, so she got all this stuff, and I said in there, I go, well, of course I will issue a refund, and I'll do it right now. But it would be really great if you could go retract your negative review because it's the first one I've ever had, and also you should be filing a complaint with USPS, not me, because I didn't do anything. I did exactly what our transaction was meant to do. Anyway, then comes the reply where she says, oh, well, now I don't know what to do. I'll have to ask my grandson how to change. So now it's like, oh, okay, I'm talking to some old person who, again, fine, great, respect to your generation, but they've never been in this situation. They don't know what this is. This is like
Wow.
weird to them. They don't. It's all foreign to them. It's like, oh, I went to the drugstore at the Five and Dime, and they gave me the wrong pack of freaking Jelly Bellies or whatever. I like.
Sure,
she
sure.
just
But you know what? Here's a tip. If you're gonna learn to drive and only drive forward at 80 miles an hour, maybe you should also at that same time learn how to put it in reverse.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Or don't
Maybe,
do it.
Maybe don't save the class on learning how to put your car in reverse till after you smash into a wall and you need to get out of it.
Exactly. And just don't do it till you talk to me. Come talk to me.
Exactly.
And then I'll work it out with you because I know what to do. And I told her how to do it. I said, well, here's what you're supposed to do. It's not hard. You just go into the comment and say, delete this. It's not hard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she says, well,
Yeah.
okay, I'll get on
Same-
that and let you know if it works for me or not. I'm so sorry. This all went a little too far, and I didn't mean it to. And but she was kind of sort of apologizing, but by the end of that thing, I was just like, well, look, here's your money. I mean, I'm not a dick.
Yeah, exactly. Of course I'm going to refund it. Yeah, our society needs to get back to the place where we reach out to the person that we feel has wronged us to say, oh, hey, this happened, probably not your fault, but here's what happened.
Shouldn't
Instead
we
of
be
going
more
right
there?
to Yelp or
Exactly.
Open Table or whatever.
I agree.
There's a really good game store over here called Atomic Games, and they sell the Marvel Crisis Protocol stuff, a lot of Warhammer stuff, they used to be my Hero Clicks place when I'd go and get Hero Clicks and stuff like that. And everything you need for painting and doing little miniatures. There's a pho place just a couple doors down, and Tina and I were in the area. We're like, oh, well, let's go check out Atomic Games. And then after that, it'll be about dinner time. We can go and get some pho. And this was maybe a month ago.
Okay.
It's like, great, cool. So we drive over there. We pop into the game store, and on the door is the sign that says, you must wear a mask to enter. No one admitted in this store without a mask. We're like, great. Okay, good to see, they're going with protocols, all that sort of thing.
Right.
We go in there. The customers, most of them, all wearing masks. The employees have them all around their chins. And they're sitting behind the, sales counter, and they're, like this, Thanos, Warhammer.
What the heck, dude? Just a month ago? They should have had that
Just a
figured
month
out.
ago.
Wow.
And so first thing I want to do, my initial knee-jerk reaction, because Tina's like, I'm not going in there. I'm not setting foot one step beyond the front door. You can go and get whatever you want, but I'm not going anywhere in there.
Yeah.
And my first thought was, God, this really sucks.
Mhm.
You do this thing, you even put on your door, no one entered without a mask. And my first initial thought was, yeah, I'm hopping onto Yelp. I'm going to say, these guys don't even follow mask protocols. Then I'm like, you know what? No, let's reach out to them first and say, hey, guys, if you're going to have this sign on your door,
Mhm.
then make sure you follow it first and let your customers see that you're following it, and make everybody feel a little bit safer.
Yeah, don't
So-
wear what the South Park refers to as chin diapers. They don't do anybody any good.
That's right. Even under the nose. Got to cover the nose too. You breathe out your nose.
No, this is good though, because what you basically described is where me and this lady ended up, but it didn't start that way. And the reason it
Yes.
didn't start that way is people are more inclined when they're at the moment of like realization that there's a problem. Like she opens it and sees this shattered mess. What we're missing in society is this thing I think we have been better at and could be better at. And that is take a moment, breathe through it for a second,
Exactly.
think
yes.
about your reaction before you make it, and then go. I say this as someone who has to watch this with myself. Like I'm not. I sometimes overreact.
I'm first to admit that, like I said, I almost went right to Yelp on these guys. I'm like, oh no, that's not the right way to do things. That's the way things have gotten too easy with online blasting to say, Wendy's forgot my fries.
Yeah, it's just too much, and it's also
At
mostly
Wendy's, you suck. Dave sucks.
Dave
The redheaded
sucks.
Wendy sucks.
Dave sucks. Do not speak ill of the dead. Dave Thomas
Exactly.
is dead. But yeah, like
They should, they should have it should be the Brady Bill on Yelp, right? Like where basically you make your post, but you have to wait 7 days to submit it.
yeah,
Where after you've calmed down and realized
yeah, you got a refractory period or whatever,
that. Right,
for
exactly.
lack of a better term. Someone in the chat says Yelp still exists. Oh yeah, that's still a thing.
Oh yeah, still
and
exists.
everybody uses it, like
Sadly.
Google and Apple Maps, and everybody uses that as reference points for like reviews for restaurants and stuff. And it can be used
I
for
use
good.
it when I go to a new restaurant. I actually look at Yelp not to see if it's any good or not, but I like to see what people say. Oh my God, the garlic nuts here are amazing, or the sausage tortellinis, super good. That's what you should get.
Right.
And so I use that as kind of like, oh, okay, maybe I'll do that.
So then now I'm faced with the prospect, and I'm gonna do the good thing, the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
But if Grandma never figures out how to retract this review, then there's a little tempting little demon in the back of my head that says, "Go give her a bad rating on the fireside." You know what I mean?
Right, I know it is. It's
But I won't do it.
yes.
But I won't say I'm not tempted. But I won't do it. I took some time to
no.
think about it. I could have gone off
You're
on
good
it last
people.
night.
You're good people, Scott. I know.
I know
it's tempted, and it is. There is that feeling of like, it's a way of just getting out those frustrations easily and quickly. But I promise you won't feel good after. You'll feel a little relief after you do it, but you won't feel good about it.
Yeah.
As good as you do about reaching out to the person saying, "Hey,
I'll be on my deathbed going, someone contact Bertha in Arizona.
I only have one regret. It was the 1-star review I gave that lady on eBay
Here's my login credentials. Please go reverse my rating."
for being a twat."
Well, anyway, I learned my lesson. She has a refund. End of story.
Good.
It's
Yeah,
fine.
good. And good that you guys got it resolved.
I'm a
Hopefully
little
she's able to get that negative review.
Yeah, I am bummed out that her grandson won't get
Figure
to
it
play Skate 3 because that game's great. But also, I did say in one of my letters, I said, P.S., if he has an Xbox One or an Xbox Series S or X or anything of that nature, he can get Skate 3 and a billion other games with Game Pass. Just download them and they're there. I did tell her that. So I'm not sure she's willing to spend $15 a month on that, but she was barely willing to spend $3 on mine.
It
so.
sounds like now you sound like the guy that's like, well, you could have this mangled up copy of Skate 3, or for just a few bucks more per month,
Yeah.
you can have that and all these other games.
Yeah, hundreds of them. And now me trying to explain to her that EA Play is now included in Game Pass. None of this is going to make any sense. So I didn't go much further than that.
If she doesn't understand, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So anyway, and the game's worth less than 15. You're right. In this case, she only paid 3, and she was my
but
only
I mean, maybe
bid.
maybe he wants Toe Jam and Earl and Banjo Kazooie, and I know these are not games that you can play on the Xbox.
Actually, Banjo Kazooie can be played on the Xbox.
Oh,
Actually,
can it now? Okay.
so can Toe Jam and Earl. Now that I think about it, there's a whole bunch of those. But Microsoft now owns Banjo Kazooie because they bought Rare Entertainment.
Oh, right.
So
right.
they own Banjo and Kazooie and Tooie or whatever the other thing was. And they own and so right now, in fact, I saw it on there. I can go download those old N64 games.
Yeah.
And the nuts and bolts thing they made just for Microsoft for 360 after they bought them. So yeah, I can actually go play Banjo Kazooie, which is exactly how the Mandalorian should play out if they ever make a video game. Because
I agree. You know what? That
Yeah.
must be why I thought of it, because I saw that tweet a few days ago. I'm like, yeah, that's completely it. That's
don't you think little baby Yoda being the
Yes.
bird, basically, doing
Yes.
whatever powers it has, and then freaking running around there?
100%, Scott.
You're right, Dice Tomato, not
100.
the old Conquer, but also Conquer sucks. All right, moving on. That's for you, Dice. I'm telling Dice Tomato something sucks.
Conquer.
Imagine that. I just told
Wow.
Dice Tomato, hold on, I want the world to know. I told Dice Tomato that something sucked.
Who's the master now?
Yeah. How do those pants fit today? Oh, I guess I'm wearing his pants. Never mind. All right. We are here to answer the big questions on the show, as always. And we got a big question from a listener. This is from... Crap. Did I not write their name down? I'm going to find this real quick because I hate it when I don't give credit. And I know I still have it. Hold on one second while I do this. I usually write it down and make sure I cut and paste their names out. For some reason, I didn't hear. Here it is. This is from Sean. All right? Sean H. sent this in. He says, Dear Farts and Beans.
Okay.
Good morning, Schnoodle and Bing Bong. I don't know why I did it two different
Wow.
names. Yeah.
We're farts and beans and schnoodle and bing bong.
I think maybe what he meant was
Oh,
The
I think the
subject.
subject line is farts and
Yeah,
beans. He's
the
not calling us farts and beans. Yeah.
it still works somehow. I don't know. Anyway, good morning, Schnoodle and Bing Bong. Long-time listener, first-time writer, inner. On today's episode of TSM, I think he meant TMS, Schnoodle asked the question, meaning me, if everybody went to Turkey and we quit our reliance on beef, meaning not the country, but the food, if we all ate turkey and we
There's a
quit
country named Beef.
yeah, go to beef. Constantinople is now called beef, not Constantinople. Anyway, if we all went to Turkey and we quit our reliance on beef, would that have a significant impact on CO2 emissions? And he's right. I did ask that question. Like, would it matter? And he said, although not exactly the same thing, but along those lines, quote, if Americans would eat beans instead of beef, meaning like bean-based meat alternatives, which are, soybean, that sort of thing, the U.S. would immediately realize approximately 50 to 75% of its greenhouse gas reduction targets for the year 2020, according to researchers from American universities, for American universities in a new paper. So they said that would happen. So he says the remaining question is, would Schnoodle and Bing Bong switch to beans to save the world? Certainly there would be more flatulence.
Flatulence.
I mean, I don't know. Like,
If you could basically make bean-based substitutes for everything I eat, and I couldn't tell the difference, then sure, why the hell not?
yeah, same. I'm the same.
I've made some killer brownies that are black bean based, and they're amazing. Like the texture, the flavor, everything you can't tell because of the cocoa and all that stuff in there, and they're like a quarter of the calories.
Yeah. It's I would do that in a heartbeat. Brian's right.
Mm-hmm.
Get it all to taste right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah,
care.
texture, taste, all that stuff. But you just can't make scrambled eggs that are made from beans. I don't think.
Right.
You can't.
Well, so the larger question though is, do the humans start farting as much as the cows did, and then we're back in the same place?
Wouldn't the greenhouse gases just come from a different source now?
Seems like. But I guess cows just fart all day.
Right.
That's all they do. They sit out there and they just fart all day long and never stop. Whereas you and I, what is it for a human? Like 11 times a day, if that you might get a little wind out
Maybe
there.
An hour for me.
I mean,
Did I mention the scrambled eggs?
You're going to have an outlier like Brian occasionally, but yeah, like for the most part, I think we'd be okay. Oh,
Yeah.
Healthy Addict on our stream made eggs out of tofu. Wonder how that was.
Ooh.
Well, maybe we'll ask Justin about that.
Healthy Addict. The addict. She's watching us now, or they're just
No,
saying that
someone
Healthy
just
Addict
mentioned it,
made
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but we'll ask Justin because she's, they're married,
They are a couple.
Yeah.
I attended that nutty ass wedding. I mean, that nutty ass simulated wedding in a Dragon Con conference room.
Dodged a bullet there. Well done.
Whew.
Almost got us in trouble. Good job. No, they share a bird. Those two. They have a bird. It's always how you know you're in love if you share a bird.
Share a bird.
Everyone share a bird. All right. That's it for all that. Now the news.
I don't watch the news.
It's the news brought to you by.
Fred and Can. It's a brand new one today. Check it out at fredandcan.com.
Well, technically it will be. I meant to have it before the show, but it'll go up right after the show. It'll tickle your fancy, I think.
Really? Give us a tease.
All right.
What's,
the tease is it's an eBay joke, actually.
Oh,
And,
really? It's ripped from today's headlines.
A little bit. It's a little bit of a different angle. It has to do with international shipping and how ridiculous it is. I'll give you just a brief example that inspired it. We did a giveaway the other day for a whole bunch of stuff, and part of the swag were some old Blizzard items. And one of them, I basically said to everybody, hey, we can't do international, but that didn't stop the Canadians from entering.
We're not international. We're North America too, eh?
Yeah, we're just right up here, eh? It's not a big deal, eh?
Yeah.
Well, it kind of is. So there's these World of Warcraft license plate covers that we had back in like Nerdtacular 2012, and I still had one laying around. And thought, well, I'll give one of those away. That's not too expensive to ship. Might cost me $3 or $4 in the States. Anyway, I went to a Canadian, and I went, it's fine. It's flat. It's no big deal. It's not like it needs special shipping. We'll just, put it in a flat envelope and send it. Sure. Kim gets to the post office. The cheapest, most slow boat low bottom of the barrel price you could get to ship that to Canada. Here in the States, it was like $3.80.
Mm-hmm.
Canada, $22 was as cheap as it got.
Yeah.
Guess what costs less than $22? The original thing.
Right. Could like at this point, you could just basically order one on Amazon Marketplace in Canada and have it shipped to them.
Yeah. Yeah. So today's joke, without giving it away, and Fred and Can deals directly with international shipping and how Fred would deal with it if he sold something at too low of a price. So anyway, that may sound complicated. It's not. You'll want to check it out right after the show-ish time.
Cool. Yeah, I sent something to Mashups Jamie, TMS Mashups Jamie, for his fine work. He did something that I said, oh, somebody should do X, and I'll just give him a prize package. I can't remember what it was, but he ended up doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, great, I'm sending you a prize package. So what I did is I put a box on the scale. I started adding things to it until it got to the certain weight that I know the big price jump is for Canada, and then I shipped it to him. So
Nice.
he got the most possible stuff he could possibly get in that box without it costing me more than the stuff in the box was worth.
Well done. Well done. And it only took him like 9 weeks to get it, right? Because that's the other problem, is everything takes forever.
Yes. Well, it took a long time for me to send it, and it took a long time for him to receive it.
If we worked closer with the Canadian government, we could probably reduce prices on this, but whatever's going
Probably.
on between us and Canada, I don't get it. It's really weird.
Well, it'll be something else that the new administration can work on. Is our shipping to Mr. Trudeau's fine country.
Icor says, still shows last week's comic. No, that's why I said Icor. It'll go on up after the show today.
Man, Icor.
Icor, where do you...
Keep up.
Yeah, are you not keeping notes? Just kidding. All right. Let's move on to the story. Mario Lopez, you familiar with his work?
I am, yes.
He was...
His fine work telling me what celebrities are doing from the confines of the Grove Shopping Center in Southern California.
Yep, that's the guy. He's also, he was Saved by the Bell.
Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I assume he got saved. I don't know.
He's moving from AC Slater to KFC Slater.
There you go. Well done. Nice transition.
Thank
Mario
you. Thank
Lopez will play Colonel Sanders in a Kentucky Fried Chicken Lifetime original movie called A Recipe for Seduction. Now, you might hear me say that and go, really? Yeah. Like, literally,
Yeah.
this Friday, this
Yeah.
airs on
The
that channel.
trailer is already out.
Yep. In fact,
Should we
tab
play
it
a
up.
little bit of it?
I was going to put a bit of this up. It may get us in trouble.
People are telling us to film sack it, and I don't know. Something that is parody like that becomes, it's much tougher to sack than people would realize.
I agree. I'm not sure it would be our jam, but here's the actual trailer from Lifetime. We'll
Okay.
play it. We'll play a bit of it, and
In
I
a
can tell
world.
you right now that Kim and I are absolutely going to be watching this,
Cool.
because she loves crap on there anyway, and I just have to see what this is.
You have to see it, sure.
Here
Is
it
there any
is.
way to do a group watch along? Maybe that's the thing.
That would be amazing, right? I don't think there is. All right, here we go.
What the hell are you doing?
A Lifetime original mini movie.
You don't answer my proposal, and now you're not answering my call.
I think I'm falling for the new chef.
Jessica is falling for Harlan.
The cook?
He wears.
Leave Jessica alone and skip town.
He has a secret recipe that's going to change the world.
Harlan claims to have some secret.
All right, I'm in. I'm in.
Yeah, I couldn't see what you were watching, but I do know that he's got like glued on Colonel Sanders' facial hair, and
Yeah, but they haven't gone full white. It's as if he's like in his 30s or
Right.
something, and it's just a
Yes.
little salt and peppery down here and up top. But then, but he's got that dumb like Colonel Sanders tie, bolo tie
Yeah.
thing, and
right.
oh my gosh, how stupid is this? Anyway, it's coming soon this Friday to Lifetime. I guess I don't know how they probably have a streaming app, or I don't know how people are going to get it, but we usually get Lifetime stuff after the fact on something else.
Sure.
'Cause there's so much of it.
after streaming later.
Yeah. So
Because he puts his chemicals in his 11 herbs and spices that make you crave it for nightly jackass.
yeah. Well, it's a weird year for those guys. I played their weird dating simulator
Did you?
game. Yeah, that was on Steam. What was that called? Oh, someone just posted. JC Kelsey
Date
just
the
posted
Colonel or something, right? It was.
It's right here. Hold on.
Oh, I love you, Colonel Sanders. A finger licking good dating simulator.
That's the
what it
one.
is.
which is
Yes.
still uncomfortable to say that title. I don't like it, but anyway, it's actually for what it
What-
is, like
Yeah.
that kind of game. It actually succeeds at being what it needs to be. If I can,
Which game is worse, that KFC dating simulator or the Burger King Xbox game Sneaking, where you had to like you were the king and you had to sneak around places with your dumb mask?
I mean, basically, Sneaking was, like it was like a Splinter Cell sort of stealth game, right? And I actually really liked that. I'll be on the record as saying that Sneaking game was okay. If I had to compare the two, if you like to read a lot, Colonel Sanders' finger licking good whatever adventure is for you. If you want and you like dating and like just dumb relationship stuff in video games, then that game is for you. If you want to play like a legitimately decent stealth game, Sneaking's not bad. It's all right.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's a chicken. Is it a chicken roguelike, basically?
No, I'd say it's more like
chicken based. I mean, I guess no, it's a Whopper based roguelike.
yeah, Whopper. It's a good way of putting it. I don't know. Like it wasn't. That's the weird thing about this KFC stuff where they do these promotions. It's always not half bad, which I can't quite figure out. And in the Burger King case, that game wasn't that bad. Like it could have been so much worse.
They have a good marketing team for some of these places that really know not just how to create something that's like, oh, okay, that's really goofy and silly, but it's like, wow, okay, that is on the surface goofy and silly, but there's actually something to it. It's not just a publicity stunt piece of garbage with nothing behind it. There's something actually behind it that's entertaining.
Yeah, and somehow
and this KFC Lifetime movie.
And that game I just mentioned has like very positive
What do you
reviews on
say
Steam.
we go back to your place and double down?
They still do the double down? Is that a thing I can get?
I don't know if it is or not.
I hope so, because it keeps it. I like it that it would be always relevant to make fun of the double
Yes,
down, you know?
it is exactly. I know it's like you always want to be able to make fun of the McRib.
Yeah, never not do it. Oh, there it is, a double down sandwich available still. All right, still a thing.
Okay, there you go.
2 pieces of chicken with food inside of them. Oh my lord. All right. Anyway, here's the fun thing. While the plot is yet to be released, the film's poster promises finger-licking intrigue. We all have our secrets. His just happens to be a recipe for seduction. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
First franchise location opened in 1952 in Salt Lake City, Utah. Bing,
Oh,
bing, bing,
really?
bing, bing.
Wow, cool.
Utah connection. Oh.
So not Kentucky.
Nope. That's a crazy one. Utah connection. It all started as Harmon's Chicken or whatever the crap it was, or he worked there. Well, I don't know what the deal was, but then he opened a KFC, like an actual Kentucky Fried Chicken, in Salt Lake, and I've been to that location, and it is old. 52.
That's like learning that the first McDonald's was not in Scotland,
That's
but
right.
actually in what was it, Ohio?
Yeah, right? Is
Yeah,
that weird?
Yeah.
It's like
Weird.
finding out fortune cookies were made in California or something like that.
Right, exactly. But there's no actual royalty behind Burger King. It's a made-up monarchy.
Yeah, they never met. That was never the Queen never dubbed it the official anything. It's never anything.
Right.
There's some a-hole.
So Stoic School, where's in Illinois. Illinois, not Ohio. That's right.
I get those mixed up too. It's fine.
Yep.
All right. Well, there's that story. Hey, a follow up on a story we did last week about Netflix's Tiger King, Joe Exotic guy reaching out to Trump for a pardon.
Mm-hmm.
He's now gone an extra length on that front and has now reached out to Kim Kardashian for help
Good.
in getting
Good.
that pardon.
Yeah. She's got some pull.
Yeah.
She's got she's the secret path to the White House right there, Kim Kardashian.
Yep. And for some reason, I have swapped the story with a different story. So I'm gonna just I am just gonna tell you that story.
Okay, since that's the story we've got.
Yeah, because that's the headline. Now I know what I screwed up last night. Last night I went to bed going, I think I goofed up the notes. Now I know what I did. So what I did is I put the wrong headline with the wrong story. So this Netflix Joe Exotic thing basically is this. He can't get any traction by spending money at the hotel or trying to knock on Trump's door with whatever chances he has. So now he's talking to Kim Kardashian, who apparently has the president's ear on various issues, and he'll see if that works.
He might have had a chance if Kanye would have won the presidency. But
Yeah. He did get like, what, 1% or something?
he did. I bet we got I know there was some people who did some write-in votes for Scott and Brian.
Oh,
And
wonder what we
come
got.
on.
I would love to know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, wouldn't that be great if we could find out how
If
many?
we could find out what percentage of votes.
I mean, look,
It's probably
we were,
5. I would be surprised if it's 5. I think it's I know of one for sure. And
yeah, it
come
might
on,
be
you're
throwing
throwing
your
your vote
under.
away, man.
5 or under. I agree.
5 or under for sure.
Yeah, that's my bet. All right. Anyway, so that's the thing. Now I'll turn to this. This is a more important story, or it's the worst story. I don't know. Floyd Mayweather. You know Floyd Mayweather. He's a boxer. We just talked about Mike Tyson yesterday. When I got Floyd Mayweather, another professional boxer, is going to come out of his retirement and do an exhibition match with Logan Paul.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Logan Paul, internet
I'm all right-
sensation.
I'm all right with this. Can we? How much to watch Logan Paul get a beat down?
I
hopefully?
want him to get his ass handed to him.
Yeah.
He's okay. For those who are like, who's Logan Paul? Like that lady in Arizona that
Mm-hmm.
did my eBay review.
His middle name is smash that subscribe button.
Dude got his start on Vine and became a Vine sensation. Him and his brother Jake Paul, and then they moved on to the YouTubes. And we've had him in the stories here and there because he was the one that went to Japan and saw the guy who committed suicide and filmed it, which is a big
Right.
no-no over there, and got in trouble with YouTube and shut down a few times and blah 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 whatever. He's got weird hair and I don't like the guy at all. But there's that guy, and now apparently he's gonna fight Floyd Mayweather for all the marbles. It says here it's called a super exhibition. This is against now YouTuber. They call him YouTuber Logan Paul. The match is scheduled for February 20th, 2021. According to a post on from Floyd on his Instagram page, the bout will be available per pay-per-view. I said that wrong. Will be available via pay-per-view, not per pay-per-view. Per pay-per-view. You ever seen per pay?
Per paper. Have you ever seen per pay-per-view?
You ever seen it? Look at it. Let's see. According to the website, the first million purchases will cost $24.99, increase to $39.99. Once that threshold is reached on December 29th, the price jumps to $59.99 and then to $69.99 in February on the 11th itself. So then they're done with doing tickets, or I guess it stays at that price. The announcement comes 1 week after Paul's brother Jake Paul knocked out former NBA player Nate Robinson. I didn't even know about that one.
I didn't either.
That was the thing, I guess.
So he's thinking he's hot stuff right now. He's kind of riding high on a victory against a basketball player.
Yeah. Well, his brother, but yeah. He's thinking, yeah, if my brother can do it, maybe I can do it against a former heavyweight
his brother. That's
champion.
right. Jake Paul knocked out. Okay, so it's not even. Wow, he's like really got the the FOMO, the stolen glory.
Yeah, the brother FOMO. You know those guys fight. Well, that's a great name.
All right.
for
Well, I'm
like
not paying for the. I'm not paying the $24.99. Certainly not paying $39.99 to watch it. But I'm going to see if BetMGM has some money. I'm going to put some money on there.
It seems like an easy bet.
It kind of does. I
maybe
guess you
he's
just
all
have to bet
ripped.
on how many rounds, right?
I mean, how old is Mayweather now? He's not that age is everything, but in boxing it kind of is. Let's see, Floyd. Oh, come on, Johnson.
He's 43.
Okay, that's not that old.
That's not that old.
But
That's 94 in boxing years.
so the other one, Logan Paul?
25, I think, is what I saw.
He is 20. Where is it? He was born in 95, so he's 25. The math has been complete. He is 25 years old. He's kind of ripped.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's ripped enough.
But I'd still pick a 43-year-old who's been boxing for, a professional boxer against a YouTube burning sensation any day of the week.
A YouTube burning sensation?
YouTube burning sensation. It's not a YouTube sensation. It's a burning sensation that just happens to be on YouTube.
I'd like to license the use of that phrase in further conversations, if you don't mind.
Sounds good.
That's pretty good. Anyway, they're gonna make a crap ton of money regardless of the outcome.
Yes.
Those guys, look, for all the irritation they provide me, all the burning irritation they give me, these guys know how to milk this cow, and they've milked a lot of money out of this cow. They're both multimillionaires, these brothers.
Yeah.
And they will be even more so after taking their take of whatever ticket sales are for this thing. So, and it will sell, dude. $24.99 will sell.
It will
Those million
absolutely
purchases
sell.
will go like that.
Yeah.
whether we like it or not. Logan Paul's fought before, by the way. Twice fought vlogger and rapper Ola JD KSI
Olatunji.
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 With the first bout ending in a draw.
Olatunji.
Oh, look at this. This is helping.
Now batting. Olajide Olatunji.
Nailed it. I'm sure you're closer than me. It says it ended in a draw the first time. The second bout with that guy, he lost. Paul did. Let's see. Merriweather has been undefeated in his career with a record 50-0. Oh my gosh. Is considered one of boxing's all-time greats. He retired in 2017 after defeating Conor McGregor. He took on Conor McGregor and won.
Conor McGregor. There could be only one Conor McGregor.
There can only be one McGregor.
God, that was 3 years ago. I remember that fight, and that's like crazy that was 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That alone generated $555 million in revenue. $550 million in revenue. His take alone was 275. You know this thing's gonna just make both these dudes more rich.
Because he was both fighter and also promoter, like working both sides of the desk. It's awesome. Good for him.
Good Lord. All right. Well, good luck to them all. May Logan Paul lay lifelessly.
I'll look forward to watching the 35-second YouTube clip of the beginning of the fight and the end of the fight.
Oh, see, that's the other thing. If it's one of those like one and done, punch, you're done deals, that always feels like the biggest ripoff. Like,
yeah, right. I paid $24.99 for 18 seconds of boxing.
Yeah. Boxing's never really been my thing anyway. Like a UFC, I can kind of see why people like it. It's a lot more brutal, but
I can't do it. Yeah, it's just
it's just hard to watch.
Sometimes those guys just look like they want to kill each other.
Yeah,
Did you ever watch any of the MTV celebrity boxing?
Trying to think. Yeah,
like
I remember
Danny Bonaducci versus Screech, I think was one of them, and
what's her name that broke
Tonya
Kerrigan's
Harding.
leg? Yeah, Tonya Harding. I remember that.
Tonya Harding versus who did she fight? Was it Amy?
She didn't fight Nancy Kerrigan,
Long Island.
did she? It wasn't Nancy.
No,
Kerrigan.
it was the Long Island
Lolita.
it was Amy Fisher.
Amy Fisher cut off the wiener cut. No, that's a different one.
No, that's Bobbitt. John Wayne Bobbitt. What was her name?
I'm getting my terrible late 90s, early 2000s controversies mixed up, which are both stupid. Okay,
Lorena Bobbitt. Oh, yeah, it was Screech versus Horseshack. That's right, yeah.
Oh, Horseshack? Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
but
weird.
I thought it was Amy Fisher versus Tonya Harding. God, I want these I'm thinking of Celebrity Deathmatch was the Clay version of it. Yes, it was Fox that had celebrity boxing.
Right, and the guys that made the claymation thing went on to do Robot Chicken, right? Is that those guys?
I think that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
That's Seth Green and company.
Yeah, I think that's right. I used to like that. I like whatever.
I want to pull up a list here of all the celebrity boxing. All right, so you had Danny Bonaducci versus Greg Brady, Barry Williams.
Yeah. Who won that?
Todd Bridges versus, let's see. Bonaducci dominated the bout, knocking Williams down 5 times before Williams' trainer threw in the towel in round 2.
All right.
Bridges versus Ice. So you had Todd Bridges versus Vanilla Ice.
Wow.
Let's see. Bridges was in control throughout nearly the entire fight, flooring Ice in rounds 1 and 2. Tonya Harding versus Paula Jones. That's right, Paula Jones. But Jones took the bout as a late replacement for Amy Fisher, who was reluctant to fight. So I did.
Really?
Amazing that I was able to pull that scrap of garbage out of my head.
Well, who won that? Did Tonya Harding stand victorious?
Harding won the victory by TKO.
She probably did it from behind and with a stick or something like that.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then so in the second one you had Conger versus Corbett. Darva Conger versus Olga Corbett.
Wow, really digging deep into the celebrity.
Darva Conger versus Olga Corbett. That's like mouth exercises. You had Dustin Diamond versus Ron Palillo, so Screech versus Horseshack. You had Manute Bol versus William Refrigerator Perry.
Oh my Lord.
And then Joey Buttafuoco versus Joni China Laurer. Joey Buttafuoco took the match after Weird Al Yankovic said no, he's not interested. He was first approached to fight China, Says he
said
didn't
no.
feel like it was a positive career move to fight a woman on national television.
I agree. Now do
Yeah.
it with an accordion while you're doing it.
There's
now you got
no,
an
it's a
idea.
no-win situation. If you win, you're a dick. If you lose, you're a dick.
Yeah.
You're a wuss. There's
What if they- what if
there's
they
no
were-
win-win in that
They ought
situation.
to bring that back because now we live in the time of weird pseudo celebrity, YouTube-y, Instagram-y people. They ought to do
yeah.
fights with those people.
Kind of bring it back. So who of our current celebrity douche nozzles would you like to see go against each other?
Kylie Jenner versus that makeup guy, not George Floyd. George.
Makeup guy.
Yeah, chat room, come on, help me. He's a super famous makeup dude.
Jeffree Star?
Not Jeffree Star. James Charles, that's it.
James
Nothing
Charles.
like George.
Okay.
James Charles versus Kylie Jenner.
Okay.
Because they're both big Instagram-y things. Okay, let's see. Let's even
I'd
go-
like to see DJ Khaled fight the guy from Kitchen Nightmares that spits on
Oh.
everybody when he talks to them.
That's not bad. Okay.
All right.
Uh,
Keep going. This is who would we pay? Would we pay $24.99 to watch this? The answer is yes. Who else? Who else have we got?
Chocolate Rain versus...
Oh, Tayson Day
Yeah,
versus
Tayson Day versus the Numa guy. Remember him?
Yes.
I don't know what he's doing now. Oh, you want to do podcasters, do you? All right. Leo Laporte versus... oh, my gosh.
Leo Laporte versus Adam Carolla.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the right thing.
And then Jericho versus My Funny Hat. I'd like to see that battle
Okay.
too.
Is he still podcasting, Jericho? Still doing it?
What's he doing?
Yeah,
you know
well,
the
he's
guy's got talent.
He's got talent. All right. How about this?
Scott Johnson's got quite the unit.
What if it was Scott Johnson versus
Scott Johnson versus Justin Robert Young, and it's coming up in just a few minutes on TMS. Oh, Laporte versus Dvorak. Oh, I like that one a
Oh
lot.
yeah, that's pretty good. Tom Merritt would never be in the fight. He would always referee. Are you kidding? Tom's referee. Can you see Tom? I can see Tom out there reffing. Totally. Tom's the ref. He's the fair ref.
Excuse me.
Brian coughed on some things.
Swallowed coffee totally wrong.
Oh no.
You'd think after 50 years I'd know how to swallow coffee.
Uh-oh, next thing up is some thickened liquid to help you with your swallowing problem.
Brian Ibbett versus a cup of coffee. It's
Coming up
settled in
next.
round one via TKO.
Scott John-
Whoop, wrong one. Oh, I don't have one about Ibbett. I was gonna. Oh, Brian Ibbotson. Here it is.
Brian Ibbotson.
Yeah, Brian Ibbotson, everybody.
Mine is clear. It's Brian Ibbett versus Richard Cheese.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The rematch of the century.
That's right.
Fantastic.
The Thrilla in vanilla.
Oh my Lord. All right, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, Justin will be here. We're gonna get educated on what's going on in Georgia with the runoff. I will admit I know very little about how that system works, and I'm curious what his take is and kind of the pieces at play. So we're gonna learn all that and avoid confrontation. After that, we'll be done. So stick around. Brian's got to play a song though. Brian, do you have a song?
Yeah, I do. Got some alt rock coming to you from a guy named Sage Ray. Not Sugar Ray, but Sage Ray. He's got a brand new album called brand new single called Goodbye Stage. This is featuring Sheldon Taylor on vocals. Fresh out of high school, Sage packed his 2006 Nissan Maxima with nothing but a bag of clothes and his music equipment and made the trek from Charlotte, North Carolina to Huntington Beach, California to pursue his dream. I totally love this and support it and back it up. He's now 21 years old. He's got a relatable edge and a resolute attitude towards life and love. Here's the brand new song from Sage Ray, Goodbye Stage.
We'll be right back.
Hi, darling. Hurry and get ready for dinner. PTA meeting tonight.
Ellen, please. I just got home. Don't rush me.
Oh, it's a shit sandwich up here.
Do the bees know they make honey for you? This is the morning stream.
All right, we have made it back, which means we successfully traversed music. Found ourselves facing one.
Dodged
Justin
around the
Robert
music,
Young.
dodged around the careful news. We've made our way to the second half of our show.
We have, and I'm gonna play this to celebrate.
These are their stories.
Oh, I'm terrible with names.
Welcome with me, won't you, to the show, Mr. Justin Robert Young, our political analyst on the street. He's with us again, as he is every Tuesday. Justin, good morning.
Good morning, friends.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good
Right
morning.
up on that. The camera right up on you today.
Oh yeah, right up on you. I like it.
I got a new lens. Technically a new camera too, but it was the same type of camera.
I'll
But
bet
we're trying out a new lens.
Do you have you have the Sony A7 or 6 or something?
No, Lumix.
Oh,
we
Lumix,
are a Lumix shop here. Lumix GH2s as far as the eye can see. As long as your eye can only see to 2 Lumixes.
Because I got a new lens for my A7 6 rather that did a very similar thing. It's got this great kind of bokeh thing going on, but it immediately just shoved me right in the face of everybody, which is fine.
Well, and it also is, boy, does this some bitch require a lot of light. Like when normally, if I were to turn off my lights, you would still be able to see me. I'd look not particularly well lit, but now you turn off these face things, and I am like totally in darkness.
Yeah, you're like you're just it's
jury after dark.
You have to do one of those anonymous like, yeah, I knew the guy before he committed a crime. Well, it's good to have you here. Now, here's the thing: we got a question that's not at all politically related. We got to ask you first, and that is when your lovely wife when Ashley made eggs out of tofu.
That's right, scrambled tofu eggs.
Yeah.
I think.
Tofu scramble. I think
tofu.
That's all it's called. Okay,
how don't put the word egg in there at all?
How is that? Is that good? Is it the worst thing you've ever done? Like what? I want to know what that's like, and if it's good, I may try it here because my daughter's really into tofu, and I wouldn't mind trying it. But what was your takeaway?
A new definition of weird eggs for Scott is what it would be.
Yeah, no, she would. Yeah, she would be happy to give you her recipe there. She actually used to make it a lot, but yeah, you can do it with like fake chorizo and stuff like that, and it's actually it's pretty good. It really depends on. Let me ask you this: when you have, what are your thoughts on breakfast burritos?
Like them.
Had one for breakfast this morning.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact,
I do a thing now where I don't eat until 11 and I stop eating at 7. But if I did have breakfast, I would have a burrito for sure. Those are good.
Okay, so if you like breakfast burritos and therefore are a fan of
burritos?
Breakfast mush, like the stuff that just fills, it's like it's potatoes and eggs,
green chili,
and but really it's breakfast mush and it's wrapped up in a thing, and that's really what you're eating.
And you can't really identify the individual parts of it anyway.
You don't know where the egg ends and the potato begins or whatever. Like. So then you will like the tofu scramble because it is essentially just a entree called breakfast mush.
Okay, I'm into that. I think. Well, sometime I'll have to squeeze that recipe out of you and try it out.
I'll have Ashley send it. It's super 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 easy.
All right. Now on that note, this week we move away from national politics, and even though it's I guess connected and related to national politics, we move instead to the local feverish pace to get some Senate seats filled in the state of Georgia. We had to have a runoff. And I say that as if I know what that even means. And the truth is, I'm going to make a confession right now. I don't even get what a runoff means. So can you give us like a primer, an educator, something about what is happening there, why it's happening? Is it significant?
Sure.
What's changed? All that.
Well, let's start with the stakes here. They're actually fairly remarkable. What is at stake on January 5th with early voting starting December 14th is literally control of the Senate. There are 2 seats, both in the state of Georgia, that are up for runoff election. We'll get to what that means in a second. But should the Democrats win both, they will control the Senate. If they win one, I think they're still one short. But if they win both, then they control the Senate. So that is what's at stake here, which is obviously gigantic, because normally we spend a year talking about whether or not somebody is going to get control of the Senate. Now, after this gigantic cataclysm of a presidential election, we get this. So, what is a runoff? It's a thing that only happens in certain states, and Georgia's one of them.
Okay.
If one candidate does not win over 50% of the vote, they then go to a runoff.
Okay.
That means that on election day, there was a fairly a traditional race of two candidates. They're the same two candidates that are going to be in this runoff, David Perdue and Jon Ossoff. And David Perdue won. In any other state, he would have won. Well, not any other state, but most other states, he would have won because he had more vote than Jon Ossoff.
Okay.
But he wasn't over 50%, so it goes to a runoff. The other one was kind of weird. It's what you normally call a jungle primary or election. This wasn't a primary per se, but that means that there's a bunch of people running and people can run from the same party in the same election.
Okay.
And so in that race, it was Raphael Warnock, who is the Democrat, who got the most votes, but Kelly Loeffler and I believe former Representative Collins, who are both Republicans, if you combined their total together, they would have had more than Raphael Warnock. So we now move into the runoff where, by all accounts, it looks like the Republicans historically and based on what happened on election day, even with Biden winning the state, should be in the lead. And yet the polling, specifically in the Senate, which has been fairly unreliable, at least this year, they say that the Democrats are up.
Okay. So someone in the chat earlier, not that they would know any more than anyone else, but they said short of this conversation is going to be, there's no way the Democrats win either seat. And obviously in a year where things are pretty heated and turnouts are at a high level and blah, 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 that may, obviously everything's up in the air. So here's my question. There's a lot of talk in the press that Trump's sort of stance on the election results, which are now third count, says Biden won in that state, that he has been that his rhetoric has actively worked against these Republican incumbents keeping their seats, and that there are people within the party that are super pissed at him. And then others say, well, this doesn't move the needle at all. It's just him basically doing a campaign rally for 2024 anyway, or, riling up people and getting them excited about still fighting Biden's win. Do you think it does move anything for anyone to have him, down there doing rallies, making a stink on Twitter about Brian Kemp and everybody being rhinos? And does that stuff help or hurt the actual Republicans on the ground in the state of Georgia?
Well, that's actually a really, really interesting question. And I don't think that we're going to know the answer to it until Election Day. But certainly, at least as it stands now, with early voting only 6 days away, you would not like for basically what the Republican Party in Georgia would like is for Trump to take a close loss and now make the messaging very clear. Unless you want to hand all of the government over to the Democrats, you have to vote for these two people, whether or not they are your perfect candidates.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the made in a lab way that you get guys like that elected. That being said, it's a little bit more complicated than that because Donald Trump has yet to concede. He has specifically made Georgia a battleground. He has ripped their Secretary of State. He has ripped the governor, Brian Kemp, who at one point was a very staunch defender. We spent a lot of time on PX3 making fun of how much of a tryhard Brian Kemp was during his race against Stacey Abrams for governor. That being said, Trump came out on Saturday to Valdosta, Georgia, and I think walked as enthusiastic of a line as he could in the getting out the vote for his for the candidates in the Republican Party. He brought them both out. He said that anybody who tells you not to vote is wrong, and they're handing it over to the communists and blah blah blah. So he rallied his base as much as he could. Now, it didn't stop him from also shredding Brian Kemp, from also saying that based on a bunch of truisms on bellwether counties, that he almost certainly won the election. But he did come out and rally for Loeffler and for Perdue, and more specifically against Warnock and Ossoff. But if you are a Georgia Republican, there's no doubt you'd like this thing to be a lot cleaner than it is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's my general sense. It just feels like this is not how they want any of this to. Well, whatever. Like I don't know how you do anything normal this year anyway, and like there's so much pressures from all these other angles and all this other stuff, and you're on the national stage in a way that you normally wouldn't be in that state. Here's my question. At the end of this,
I mean, by the way, this never happens. Ever. Like, there's so few states that have these rules. There's so few times where the fate of the Senate comes down to one or like to 2 seats. Normally, if it's 2 seats, that's it. You just kind of sit on it for the next 2 years and then try your luck next time.
Yeah.
But this is truly remarkable.
What if it comes down to this runoff being 50-50 again? Is it then they just give it to whoever had the most votes, or what do they do?
Yeah, this is winner take all. This is sudden death. This is overtime. Whoever gets, if let's say Perdue and Ossoff end with the exact same percentages that they ended on election day, then Perdue will be the senator from Georgia. And if Warnock similarly were to have more vote percentage, albeit in a 2-person race with Kelly Loeffler, then Warnock would be the senator.
Okay, interesting. Well, we'll keep our eye on it and see what happens, obviously. And we'll talk about the results of it when that's appropriate. However, I wanted to also ask you, now we're in our entertainment section.
Good.
Do you have a hot take on the HBO Max now controversial move for some to take all their stuff to streaming the same day they're putting them in theaters, or otherwise streaming only, and ruffling the feathers of people like
Christopher Nolan? Not a fan.
Yeah, he's not into
Crisp
it.
Nolan loves the twisty. He was really, really, really PO'd, wasn't he? He said that people went to sleep. Went to sleep. Thinking that they worked for the best the best studio, and they woke up working for the worst streaming service. Which only one can imagine what would happen in between in the mind of Christopher Nolan. But well, all right. So there's some parts that I'm very sympathetic to Warner Brothers and Warner Media with, and then there's other parts that I actually, the more I've read about it, I've become more sympathetic to some of the talent. The thing that I'm sympathetic to on the Warner Media thing is that they got to make this HBO Max thing work.
Yeah.
And obviously this dam was about to break when it came to day and date release windows. So they basically, be it desperation or first mover advantage, they made the digital centric play, right? And they said, you want to know what? We might get damaged in terms of everybody, the old power structure of Hollywood, but if this gamble pays off, we are now a premier destination for people to put their stuff, and money talks. What I've become sympathetic to the talent is that when you really break it down beyond the my work belongs in a theater, draw the curtains, the silver light of the Presidium glowing. That is the true magic of nonsense. A primordial man gathered around the campfire. Have we had such a collective experience? Beyond all that, histrionics, the agents are pissed that Warner didn't try to sell these movies on the open market. That even if you were only going to say all right, this is now open for streaming, that Warner Brothers as a studio didn't put Dune on the market, didn't put Suicide Squad on the market, and say, all right, Apple, Netflix, let's
Who wants it? Let's start the bidding.
Let's get your numbers. So even then, if Warner's wanted to keep it on their service, they would at least be paying a competitive rate to any of these people based on other bids that came in.
Yeah, but why does it matter to? Okay, if they're doing it and putting it on their own service, and now they're basically the maker and the completer of their content, and that's just the way they're doing it. It doesn't change the fact that the director, the producers, the actors, everybody in the effects team, everybody got paid their contract pay. Like everybody got paid or will get paid, right?
Except for the people that get paid on the back end, or people that get paid when things get sold, and people that look. There's the producers. There's a whole element of this that actually makes the process go money wise that get paid because of these deals. What HBO Max did, or Warner Brothers did through HBO Max, is just make the announcement and then call the agents the next day and say, all right,
here's what we did.
What's it going to take to make you not hate us? Like, now let's talk money. And from the point of view of the agents and the producers, they're like, oh no, because apparently Netflix had made a big money offer for Godzilla versus Kong, and Warner Brothers blocked it. But that set up this idea of like, wait a minute, Netflix was going to pay like $230 million for the rights to this. That's money in the pocket of the producers and anybody who's participating in the back end and stuff like that. Just right off, that's just cream right off the top, right? Before it goes to theaters and everything else. So I think people were pissed now that it's like, wait a minute, it seems like there's like a whole new market here to sell to people. And you guys didn't even go to the market. You just put it all in your own basket and then asked us what we would like to be paid for it.
Yeah, I guess I understand that, but also that sounds to me like middlemen getting removed from the equation, like the internet seems to do. You know what I mean? Like there are massively successful musical artists that never had to deal with the old system. And I'm not saying we want to do it all overnight, but it feels like maybe all that stuff's headed that way. Like why all these middlemen may not be so important, and maybe too bad, so sad. I don't know. I'm not necessarily arguing for it because I don't understand the intricate.
Their argument would be that you certainly get pissed when you see your drawing show up in Teespring stores, right? And it's not like. It's as if those people that do your blue shell T-shirt and randomly start selling it, instead of you just filing a, hey, that's my art, and maybe you play whack-a-mole and it gets taken down or whatever, Teespring did it. And then they were like, hey, what do we owe you for this? We just made this decision that now this lives here. So it's control.
Apple saying, hey, your podcasts are now only going to be available on Apple TV. Have fun with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that these are imperfect analogies, but the larger idea is that if you are a part of a production, you should have a say to maximize its value.
Yeah,
and I think that's what the people that are pissed now, and again, they are producers and agents. So to your larger point, I don't know exactly how much people are going to be like, boo-hoo, I can't believe these producers and agents, universally loved and thought to be the most important part of movie making. They're really sad. But also, I do think that in the business side of this, if these movies are commodities, then yeah, that is something that like I was totally on the side of like, yeah, whatever, put it out there. They're going to be more famous and they're going to be more cultural touchstones because they're more available to people. But then the more I read about it, I'm like, oh, okay, I get why some people are super pissed.
Okay, so there's complexities here, obviously, that we're not thinking about, and it is a massive change. It is a huge sea change, and it is a power move to say, look, our streaming, we're throwing all in on this streaming service. Like we really want this to take off. And if I'm honest, like I know I don't know if I'm an outlier. I don't know what I am, but HBO Max is right now in my top 2 streaming services. I really like it, like a lot, and I like everything on it, and I'm really jazzed for the originals.
What are
and,
you into? What's your jam?
Tons of the HBO stuff, and admittedly, some of this is back catalog. Like I am finally watching, the Brian Cox thing.
Succession.
Oh, you're watching it? Awesome.
Yeah, and I'm loving it. It's great.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
so good.
Succession is so good.
It's really good. But there's other backlog stuff I just haven't watched.
I just wish I could yell some of the things that they yell. I might just call you. I might just call you later today and just yell some of the Brian Cox's lines.
Right.
Oh, great.
The Brian Cox lines or the Tom's stuff to Greg. The stuff that Tom calls.
But I also I feel
it's just like not since Veep has there been such an aggressive positioning on trying to think of new insults and curse words that people could use toward each other.
That's funny you say that because I'd had that vibe of there is a Veep vibe in it. Not as much in the comedy direction. Obviously, it's a little more dramedy or drama than comedy.
Because not everybody. There's very few people on Veep that are likable, and there's very few people on Succession that are likable. But you love them.
Yeah, you love to hate them for sure.
You love to hate them. Yeah.
So I'm really enjoying that, and I think their movie selection is strong as it's often been. Like there's just a lot to like about it, and I also really liked Raised by Wolves. I know that's a mixed bag for some people, but I really dug it.
I gave up after episode 3.
Yeah,
never went back,
and I ended up really liking it. It's weird.
We just started watching something that I'll use for recommendals a week from tomorrow, but it's something new on HBO. Final episode just aired a couple days ago, and it's got a couple of A-listers, or at least some people who were A-list in the 90s, 90s and 2000s.
Okay,
as a couple. There you
go.
That's plenty of giveaway right there.
I love that Perry Mason thing. Although again, it's an HBO product, so it's not like these aren't things we would have probably gotten these with the HBO Go if it was still the thing, right? So so I'm basically praising a little of what was old and a little bit of what was new, but I'll admit when I heard this news, I got really excited because that's how I'm going to see these movies. Like to me, they answered my question, which is how am I going to get Dune in my life? Hopefully sooner than later, and maybe not in a theater if I can't, if things aren't good enough by then or whatever. Like suddenly it's like, oh yeah, well then right here on the big screen at home with the popcorn in the clean bathroom, let's do it.
Yeah, I think that there's no doubt that the pandemic was going to bring along a world where you're going to be able to see movies at your home easier, because like so many things that happened over the past 10 months, these were trends that were happening that were fast forwarded. What I think is the bold move is basically to eradicate that window, the window with theaters. Like there is the way I compared it on, I think it was Night Attack Happy Hour, in a week or two, the NBA is going to start playing basketball.
Yeah.
Now, this is very weird because they just ended their last season like a month ago. And the reason why they're doing it is because they don't want to break their collective bargaining agreement that the players have with the owners. Because if they don't play, then that means that they are going to break it, and they're going to have to renegotiate a collective bargaining agreement when the money is very low. You'd always want to renegotiate that when the money's really high. And what essentially, despite the fact that theater owners and these studios don't have collective bargaining agreements per se, they do all operate on a set of norm. Mm-hmm. They all negotiate against each other's deals, so they all look very, very similar. If Warner's is saying, oh, big ticket movies, Dune, Wonder Woman, Suicide Squad, all this stuff is not going to hit theaters exclusively, then that means that the theater owners, by the time that they get the coronavirus boot off their neck, that by the time that they get the public health response boot off their neck, they now come back to renegotiate. They are at the lowest possible point, because now there'll be actual results that come in. The best thing that the theater owners can hope is that HBO Max does not rise at all, and this is a total failure, and Warner's is now looking to jump back into bed with the theater owners because the money that came from HBO Max was not enough to offset what would have happened in theaters.
So, interestingly enough, I finally watched, based on Brian's recommendation, I watched Greyhound on Apple TV Plus, and Greyhound was a Warner Brothers production that I assume was farmed out in this way, sold out in this way, and Apple picked it up. And so I guess what Nolan and others are arguing for is more of that and less of, hey, we're putting it all in our own shit, right? I mean, that's basically what this boils down to.
I think if they did not go into this deal thinking that it was going to be a streaming movie, then they want the ability to at least maximize the profits on a bizarre world.
Right.
And so I think that's the most reasonable thing. Jeremy from KC says currently the deal is for only 2021. I would only say that would be like describing this as a non-fatal decapitation.
Right. Yes, exactly. Stuff like, January 1st, 2022, theaters will be full. It'll be
well, even then, forget about that. Even I think Justin's point is not so much about forget about coronavirus. It's more like this is the kind of massive move you make that you don't turn back from. Like that genie will be out of the bottle.
Right. No, and other studios will be deciding.
Well, and that's the question. The question is now, what does Universal do? Universal has their own streaming service in Peacock. Now, all of a sudden, does Peacock become the place where you watch the new Fast and the Furious movie? Obviously, Disney has Disney Plus, but they have not had the subscriber problems that HBO has had. So I think they probably want to keep their powder dry with some of the, let's say Marvel movies, but that's when you know that the dam has totally washed into the river is when Black Widow goes on streaming. Because like that is, and by the way, that's something that like is going to be an interesting question for Marvel and Disney because Marvel had already set out to take a year off. This was the year they were supposed to get back to it. That means that if they hold Black Widow off until there's widespread access to theaters, so let's assume that means California and New York. I mean, Florida and Texas are already there, but like the most populous states, Illinois, are allowing people into theaters at the kind of levels that you'd want for maximum box office returns. That means that it would be 2.5 years likely between Endgame and the next Marvel movie.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought.
Yeah.
Oh, and aren't we about to get we're getting some kind of what do you call it? They're doing like a announcement thing. So we're going to find out Marvel Phase 3.
Disney's their Investor Day.
Oh, that's what
they are going to talk about stuff. The rumor has been that they are going to lean into Marvel Television. That Marvel Television will now kind of carry a little bit more of the narrative load. Like that will be the way that we keep in touch with with the Marvel universe. And then by the time that Black Widow comes to theaters, it will be a big joyous return, but we will see WandaVision. I assume we're going to get a date for Winter Soldier and Falcon. So that's been the rumor, but who knows? I mean, I think that right now we are now that HBO Max again, participated in that non-fatal decapitation. Now there might be some more non-fatal Caesar-esque stabbings by the rest of the studios to the theaters.
Yeah, and then Christopher Nolan can say more stuff. So we look forward to that.
And then Christopher Nolan will. Yeah.
WandaVision a month and a week away, January 15th.
Okay, it's not that far off.
Nope.
Still really...
which I wonder then at that point, like, do they roll how much of a breathing room do they leave for Winter Soldier and Falcon, right?
Right now,
roll it right into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really excited to see all that though.
God, that was supposed to be August.
Oh, was it really?
Of this year. Yeah, Falcon Winter Soldier.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that had gotten delayed so much. I thought that was. I thought we were
everything has been moved and changed and. Actually, I think I wound up taking the pictures. I don't know if I sent them to you, but of all the all the movies that are like at the theater that I keep walking past, that like basically the summer that was never.
Oh,
like
right.
The all the different stuff. I think I mentioned it last week. But,
Yeah. We talked about it a little bit, but I didn't know you had pictures of it. That's great.
The summer
Yeah,
that
I'll,
never was.
yeah, I'll send it to you. But
Okay.
it is
That's great.
it is a fun look.
I'm into it. All right. Well, I'll watch for that. In the meantime, Justin, as always, stuff going on in your podcastery world and content world. Why don't you tell people where they can find more?
Yes, you can head on over to politics.com. Actually, here, you want to know what? Let me plug the newsletter.
Okay.
Free political newsletter at freepoliticalnewsletter.com. 5 days a week, you're going to get a political newsletter from me. And let me just say this. I know I've seen some of our familiar faces here in the Frog Pants chat, but the best part of the newsletter, beyond my random takes on stuff and just giving you a digest of 5 political stories from the day that was, is that we have the best community. Like, and this is something that we are blessed with in so much of what we do between Diamond Club and Frog Pants. It's just the best humans on the planet consume our stuff, and on the newsletter it's no different. We just get so many awesome and hilarious comments, some of them really insightful, some of them really, really funny. Just these great running memes. If you love TMS, I feel, and you like this segment more specifically, I feel that it is an absolute no-brainer that you're going to want to read this newsletter, Free Political Newsletter at freepoliticalnewsletter.com.
That's fantastic. Check it out, everybody. Justin Robert Young, Justin R. Young on Twitter. We'll see you soon.
See ya.
Bye. See, did a whole segment without riling me up. Woo!
Wow. Yeah, but I can't. This whole movie theater thing, it just chaps my hide.
Now I'm mad again.
Ah.
Thank you, Justin. That worked out great. Let's be done. A reminder that Boop got bumped from Monday to Tuesday, so the bumped Boop is tonight at 3:30 p.m. Mountain Time. So be here for that if you would like to watch live. If not, you can get the podcast after. frogpants.com/boop. Me and Brian Dunaway talking small indie games today, so check it out. Also, that Fred and Can strip will go up right after the show, so watch for that at fredandcan.com, and I hope you enjoy it. And by the way, if you're like, man, I just don't remember to go check it, you don't need to. You can just sign up. Speaking of newsletters, sign up for the email version of it, and you just get it when it posts. It'll just show up for you. That, or subscribe to the RSS feed, which will just pop whenever you use your RSS reader. Lots of ways to get it. Go check it out.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Yeah, all the lemons, all the squeezy. It's at fredandcan.com. That's it for the show. Another reminder that you, fine people at home, and yes, I mean you, are responsible for us staying on the air. How? By contributing to us at patreon.com/TMS. Please continue to do so, and for those who haven't, why, never been a better time. Hop in there right now and support us. We'd love it. It is how we keep the lights and hot water running. That's it. We're done. Brian, let's get out with a song.
Okay.
I don't know where I was going.
You were sure there, yes. Yeah, Chuck Robinson wrote in and said, hey, this is for Red Fraggle 3's birthday. Isn't she awesome? And she is absolutely awesome. Happy birthday to you, Red Fraggle 3. This was a request from Chuck, who basically wants a cover of Mrs. Robinson. Of course I could go to the Lemonheads. That's the easiest thing to do, right? Just do the Lemonheads cover. It's good. Everybody likes it. But let's do something different. How about this cover right here that completely fell here? Hold on. I got to pull it up in a different window because it disappeared on me.
All right.
It's life. Scott, who's it by?
I don't know. Let me look.
I can pull it up. I didn't pull it up
because
I put it over here and I didn't put it over there. It's Life in Pieces. Life in General.
Life in General. There you go.
Life in General.
Wait.
Yes.
Goodbye Stage.
Because I listened to a dozen versions of Mrs. Robinson today to pick this version, and it's awesome.
Cool.
So going out, a carefully crafted cover that I picked today for you, Red Fraggle 3. It's true. I really did spend time on this. This is Life in General. These guys are great, and it's a very different version than the Lemonheads rocker version. Still differs enough from the Simon and Garfunkel that I think it's a lot of fun. And it comes from their album, The Lovely, Lovely Singing, by life in general. Here is Mrs. Robinson.
All right. We'll see you guys on Wednesday. And for you who just had a birthday,
Happy birthday.
all right. That's going to do it. We'll see you tomorrow. This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
Where's your badge? You gotta have a badge.
Oh, I've screwed up.
Where
there.
is your badge?
I don't have one.